In this video, we're going to do an introduction for Sketchup, and we're going to talk about the basic commands, which are also the most important. We're going to talk about the interface a little bit and what we can use to start with the basic functions and to get comfortable. Now, of course, this is a video for those of you who are beginners and probably never worked with Sketchup before. So this is how this video is intended, and also the following videos will be like increasing the level. So we are going to start with basic things and we are going to increase the difficulty video after video. So if you are a beginner, if you are starting now with SketchUp, you can check this video. If you're a little bit expert, maybe you want to go forward or you want to go to next video. Now, first of all, what is SketchUp and what it's used for? Now, if you are an architect or let's say an engineer, now you can use SketchUp to create architecture models. Well, let me show you here some images. So you can basically create 3D models. You can create scenes, which can be architecture, interiors or exteriors. You can create furniture. You can create interior design. You can create products that you may want to show to your clients or if you are doing an exam. So you can do 3D modeling, but also 2D design or 2D drawing. You can use what is called CAD, which is computer aided design. So the workflow usually is that you create a 2D of your project and then you can extrude and model it into something in 3D. Now this is how the whole workflow of SketchUp works most of the time. Usually you can also import your drawings from other applications, for example from AutoCAD, and then convert it into 3D in SketchUp. And SketchUp is excellent in doing this because it's really simple, easy and fast to do all these operations using SketchUp. And it also has a lot of tools inside, but in addition, it also has extensions that you can use with other software or other smaller application. And also it has a warehouse full of different objects and architecture, buildings and whatever you want already there for you, plants, people, and so on. And we're gonna check that later on. Now, this is the official website where you can find all the pricing and you can you can buy it. You can buy the SketchUp Pro, which is the complete package. Or then you have also offers for schools and students. You have also a free version, which is called SketchUp for Web. And we already did another video for this. So if you are interested, look for it in the channel. And please also support us so that we can make more videos. So subscribe, join the channel, and we can make also more video guides about many other software. And so you can use also a free application like LibreCAD to create some 2D drawing and then get back to the SketchUp application and model in 3D. Now, what are the limits of SketchUp? Because at the moment, maybe in the future this will change, but the limit is, let's say, in a technical way, the number of polygons. Now, you can see, if you do an image search, you can see that all the models created in SketchUp are pretty straight, so are pretty simple in terms of polygons. So they don't have many faces. You can also have something more elaborate right here, but SketchUp doesn't go too deep into details. Yeah, you can see the car also looks nice, and sometimes also the terrains can be a little bit detailed, but that's it. So you cannot sculpt something too realistic, like for example in ZBrush or Matbox or similar application. And another one that I want to show you is Armor Paint. Armor Paint does the painting, and it's capable to paint in 2D and also in 3D. And this is also another software that you will find in the channel if you look for it. So basically SketchUp, it's pretty easy to use, pretty fast, and also not so heavy when you work on it on your computer, but it has some limits in terms of, let's say, the rendering, animation, and sculpting or organic shape part. So that's the limit. But if you're not looking for that, you are in the best software. So probably this is the simplest one that you can start with if you are a beginner in 3D modeling. I definitely suggest use Sketchup. It was my first software after the CAD application. I went here, imported everything, and then extruded my model real quick and easy and prepared it for my exam. So let's go now into action. I will double click here. So you can download the trial version if you want to just try it, and or you can buy the official SketchUp Pro. Okay, now let's start with a simple, and well, I will go for meters, but you can use inches as well. So the first one here. Now this one is a template, and it's a ready-made project that you can start with every time. So I will show you to do that as well. So let's open up and start to explore the interface. Now the first thing you're going to see here are the drop-down menus, and we're going to go through all of these also in the following videos, but we're gonna start with really simple things that you can find in the file, in edit, view, and camera. Now you can also use the main toolbar here, but you can also add other toolbars, and you can drag and drop them anywhere. You can close them. You can recall them by clicking with the right on this toolbar. And for example, I think that views are pretty important when you begin, because you can then move into different views really quick, and you can easily work with the 3D view here. And also I like to bring up the camera, which has all the navigation tools that we are going to explore. So you can use the toolbar, and you can use also shortcut keys and your mouse, and I will tell you about that in just a second. So right now I am in the isometric view, which is a little bit different from perspective, and then I can move around here with these other views. And then I can use the orbit tool. Now the orbit tool will, if you select it from here and click with the left mouse button, it's gonna let you orbit around your object, whatever it is. And this is the most important probably. You can also access this orbit by clicking on the scroll wheel of your mouse. This is gonna do the exact same thing, but it's more comfortable to use the mouse. Otherwise, each time you need to use this navigation, you need to go from the standard one, which is the selection here. You need to go every time to select orbit and all the other navigation tools. So the shortcut keys are pretty important, and the mouse buttons are pretty important for you to understand and memorize if you want to work fluidly and without any issues in SketchUp. So just try to memorize this. So first one, it's orbit. Click the scroll wheel and press the scroll wheel and keep it pressed. Okay. Then we have the pan, which is vertical and horizontal movement of the camera. And we can access that by, let's go back to select. We can do the pan without going every time here by holding the shift key and then pressing again the scroll wheel. So the scroll wheel will let you do basically anything. If you press it standard, you have orbit. If you press it with the shift key, you have pan. And the last one, if you scroll the scroll wheel, you have the zoom. Or otherwise, again, you have the button here to click and drag with the left mouse. So these three can be used only with the left mouse button. And then if you want the shortcut keys, they are all on the scroll wheel. So press the scroll wheel, shift and press, and then scroll the scroll wheel for the zoom. Now we have two more additional tools here that can be useful, which the first one is the zoom window. So zoom window is gonna let you create by clicking and dragging with the left mouse button a rectangle, well, a shape, and this is gonna be your zoom. So if I want to zoom real close into a particular part of my model, I can do that with the zoom window. The other one is zoom extents, and it's gonna zoom to the extents of your project. So if I click here, well, right now my project, it's only this woman here. So it's gonna focus my attention and my view on that woman, nothing else, because I don't have nothing else in the scene. Now let's make another example. I want to select this woman and I want to create a copy. Now there are many ways to do that, but a simple way and a classic way, and also these are classic shortcut keys also in other software, it's copy and paste, which is Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Now you can see I have a copy here of this woman. And I can continue. If I continue to press Ctrl V, I will create more copies. Ctrl V, Ctrl V, and that's it. Ctrl X, it's cutting, and again, Ctrl V is pasting. So you can find this anywhere. And also you can check the shortcut keys from the drop-down menus. For example, if you go in and edit, you have the cut, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, copy and paste, and other stuff. Of course, you can also delete objects with the delete key, which is another pretty useful one. Okay, now let's do zoom extents again. So I want to zoom in firstly like that, and then I want to quickly get into my scene. So if I want to quickly frame my scene inside the view, I can use this. It's pretty useful. Also when you get lost, so for example, if you do something like that, well, you can never get lost in SketchUp because you will always have this. Now I'm zooming a lot out, but I always have these three lines which represents the axis. So I have the red x-axis, the green epsilon axis, and the blue z-axis. These are the three-dimensional axis of the three-dimensional world. So this works in any 3D application as well, the same colors and the same axis. But sometimes you have the blue on the floor and the epsilon, which defines the height. Okay, so if I want to quickly get back, I click to zoom extents, and there you go. With one click and without suffering, I am back to my project, to the framing of my project. Okay, now let's see some other interesting stuff here from the edit. Well, you can also select all here, and the shortcut for this is Ctrl A, so you can see I have selected everything. I can also select one and then invert the selection. And I can also select none, so I can deselect everything. Now I can also keep the Ctrl key pressed and click to do one by one selection. So I hold the Ctrl and click. Now if I want to deselect, I hold the Shift key and click, it's gonna deselect. And if I click again, it's gonna select. So it's like on and off process. So like that, I can select or not some part of my scene. Okay. And well, we also have other interesting stuff here, but we're gonna see that later. We are keeping it simple and with basic operations, basic commands. Now the other basic commands are right here in the file menu, so you can create a new file, and if you don't save your changes, everything you've done is gonna be lost. So, well, this is my new template here, so it's always gonna start with 4 women, but I can change that. So you can see here I can do a new from template, and I can use another template and not my template, which is this one here. So let's say I want to use this one, and this is of course the standard template. So let's go now and create one for us. So if I want to copy this around a little bit, now a template is basically a file that you are going to use every time. So if you are accustomed to start with a particular setting, well, right now I'm just using this because I don't want to bring too many things. So this will be my template. Okay, I want to start every project using these women. So I go here, file, and say not save as, which is gonna be a simple file. So I'm not gonna save it simple, but I'm gonna save a template. And I have to give a name to the template. So I say my template and a description. This is my, well, template. And there you go. This is the name. So when I will save it, I will see it here each time. I'm gonna create a new document. It's gonna show me, sorry, new from template. It's gonna show me all the different ones that are already there. And then if I go to my templates, you can see now I have two. And each time I can start from this. So if I say, well, let me delete everything. So I will select everything by clicking also and dragging. You can select everything, and also the other way around. Okay, and then we will see that also later when we have other scenes. So we can do new without saving changes, and you can see that it will always start with the template that I have set up. So if I want to change template, I'm gonna have to go here and say, okay, no, this will be my template every time. Or I can go back here. It's my choice. Just click and activate the little heart there. Okay, so of course you need to also save your work, otherwise you're gonna get lost. And you can see you can save in many different versions. So if you have a colleague or a friend that doesn't have 2021 but has a previous version, then you have to save it in a previous version in order that it's gonna be able to open the file and work with that file too. Okay, and well, also here we have some other advanced stuff, but you can also search it in our YouTube channel. Probably we made another video guide, for example, about the geolocation and other, but we're gonna also talk about this in these lessons. And down here you can see the most recent files. This is also useful. Well, let's finish with well, a couple of more things. Now, in the right part of the interface, you have these panels. Now, these are pretty important. This will be important later on, but you can also undock this like this, and you can make it appear and disappear, or you can lock it again in the interface. Depends if you want more space. You can also click and drag here and make this smaller or bigger. You can close it. Now, if you close it accidentally, don't worry. Just go to Window, Default Tray, and Show Tray. So you can reactivate it really easy like that. You can also rename the tray if you want. Okay, and then we will get back to other stuff later. But I want to show you a couple of really interesting things. Now, one concerns the language. Now, the language you can install are not so many, but if you want to see the application in your language, you need to have your operative system set on that language. So you need to go to your control panel in Windows, search for language, and then switch the language. Now you can see here I have chosen English. Here I have also Italian, which is my main language, but I have chosen English. Otherwise, my Sketchup interface would be in Italian and not English. So if you want to change the language, and if there is a language for you, if you are, for example, a particular country, then you need to well, select the language when you install Sketchup, and then it's gonna be automatically set up according to your operative system language. Okay, now let's finish with one last tip, but again, we are going to talk later about all this stuff. You have here this button if you want to, for example, open up some 3D model that you want to use to start with and experiment with this navigation and selection tools that we saw in this first lesson. So this is an excellent resource because here we can Even if we don't know how to model yet, we don't know how to create anything, we can get things from here and use it to create our first scenes. And also we have the extension warehouse here, where we can install other extensions, and this will help to bring more commands to the, well, this is the extension manager, and this is the extension warehouse. So we have two warehouses, 3D warehouse and extension warehouse. In the extension warehouse, you can find a lot of additional tools, functions, and things that you can add to the standard Sketchup Pro to make it more efficient. And well, these are sometimes free, sometimes you need to pay for this. But you will find a lot of useful stuff in here. So thanks for watching this first introductory video, and subscribe to the channel, join us to support us, and see you in the next video.